All right. Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us today as we walk through some tips and tricks for you for how to get your Prodigy account back up and started for the beginning of the new school year. What you're then going to be able to do is create your first classroom. In order to create your first classroom, you're going to be able to go to a box here with an empty plus sign in the middle and click on that. And what that's going to do is it's going to populate a new window for you that says New Class. Now you're going to be able to name this class whatever you wish it to be called, as well as you're going to be able to select the corresponding grade it is that you're creating for this classroom for. Once you're happy with your class name, as well as you've selected the appropriate grade, you're then going to hit the big blue button underneath that says Create Class. And as you can see, I've now created a new classroom for my students, as well as underneath, which I have highlighted right now, is the unique 6-digit class code that you're going to want to write down and give to your students. So often one of the questions that we're asked is, if a student already has an account, are they able to use their same account? And with this class code, they are. So all you have to do is by giving this class code to your students, they enter it into the game when they go to play, and they're actually automatically uploaded and rostered to your classroom for you. It's really that easy. If they're new students, they're simply going to enter new student.
First,
and
ask your teacher for your
the first thing the game's actually going to ask them to do is enter that class code that you made by creating your classroom. Once their students enter that 6-digit class code into this example, or into this line here, your students will then be automatically uploaded into your classroom for you. Another interesting tidbit for you guys is if you have a lot of students that are returning or a similar classroom, instead of having to create a whole new classroom and give out a new class code, you can actually just edit that classroom's grade to the new grade level. You can simply do this by, in your classrooms, going to the edit button on the top right-hand corner of any of your classrooms and clicking on it. You're going to see you're going to have the ability to not only change the classroom name, as well as change their grade level. So for example, if we're in 4th grade and we want to go to 5th with the same students, I simply just hit the drop-down menu, select 5th grade, hit Save Changes, and now as you can see, all my students in this classroom are still the same. They're still going to be able to use their same accounts, but they're not going to be getting questions and content at that new grade level. The next thing we're going to take a look at today is how you can actually move current students from one class to another. In order to do this, once again, we're simply going to go to our classrooms and we're going to hit View Class. We're then on the top left-hand side, you're going to be able to see the option for Dashboard, Students, Planner, and Reports. We're then going to click on the Student option, in which is going to bring up your class roster for you. If you wish to move students from a certain classroom, you simply select the students you're looking to move. As you can see, I've selected them using the checkbox on the left-hand side, and in the middle, there's going to be an option for Move Students right above it. I'm then going to click on that Move Students option, and it's going to ask me what classroom I would like to move my students to. So if I want to keep them in my current class, obviously I can do that. However, I want to move them to this year's homeroom class, so I'm going to do that. I'm simply going to use my selection, hit Save Changes, and as you can see, those students have now been successfully moved to my other classroom. The next thing we're going to take a look at in our series is the ability for you to be able to archive your classes. Now, there's 2 reasons as a teacher that you may want to do this. One, it's going to house all your student data from the previous year so that if you do want to go in and look at anything, you have the ability to do that. The second thing is that it's also going to hold all your students' login information. So new students that are coming in or new classrooms that are being set up, you'll be able to access those students' login information so that they don't have to create a new account. The first thing I'm going to show you today is how to actually archive a class. So as you can see, I'm in my Classrooms window. If I want to archive any of these classes, I simply go up to the Archive Classes button on the top right-hand side. I'm going to select that. And as you can see, what it's going to do is it's going to allow me to select between my classes in terms of which class I want to be selected to be archived. So I'm going to select my first class here, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to hit that big blue button again that says Archive One Class. So as you can see now that class has been archived, it's no longer in my active classrooms. But underneath my active classrooms where it says Archive Classes, if I click Show Archive Classes, you can see that this classroom has now been moved down into my archive classes. If I want to activate any of these classes that I've archived in terms of the data or to get in that login information, I am simply going to hit Activate Class. As you can see, this class is now in my active classrooms, and I can simply hit View Class in order to enter it. If I'm looking for any data, I can simply come to the reports and I can view any of these 6 different data sets we have readily available for you to access any of that student data throughout the previous year. Or as I mentioned before, which is often the case, if students have forgotten their login information or password from year to year, on the top left-hand side under Dashboard, if you go to Students, you'll be able to access all of their login information. As you can see, this is going to bring up your class roster. And on the top right-hand side beside Get Parent Letters, you're going to have the option for View Login Info. If you click this button, it'll generate a login information for you, or a list in terms of your student's name, their username, and the password that they use. This will allow you to be able to allow your students to use their same accounts year over year. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your Prodigy journey.